What's going on wherever you're checking out the show from? Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make some sense out of nonsense. And let's see if we can do that tonight. Because there's plenty of nonsense to cover. So if this is your first time checking out my show, hit that like button, share my videos, follow me on all the other social media platforms. But first, we got to make sure that y'all can hear me. So, mic check, 1 2 1 2. Now, here's a little story I got to tell about three bad brothers you know so well. It started way back in history with that Rod MCA and me, Mike D. Can y'all hear me? Okay, somebody said they can hear me. All right, bet. Now, make sure that if you start to get a little glitchy, try refreshing first. Because that could, be the difference. Sometimes we think that since, my stuff is glitching up and it's buffering, so everybody's is. Oftentimes, that's not the case. It just might be your device. So check that first, just in case. And if the sounds start popping or whatever, please let me know. Now, with no further ado, let's go ahead and let me get loose. Because it's Friday. We're going to have us a little fun. Real gorilla, real gorilla, real gorilla. Listen to in the building. Gorillas in here, gorillas in here, gorillas in here, gorillas in here. Now, make sure you check out Kevin's Corner store if you haven't been there yet to check out some of our products. You might like some stuff, and you can get some stuff that will help out the channel. And this number, 330-974-4607. If you text MAGA to that number, just in case things go awry, I'll be able to at least let you guys know what's going on and where I'm at and all that good stuff. I appreciate that. Then finally, I do a monthly fundraising campaign here. You all know the drill by now. You know the deal by now. The link for that, if you want to support, is right below the video. Somebody said, loving the red, Kev. That's right, man. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't be caught dead in red. I'd rather be seen in green. Oh, man. So let's go ahead and get busy because tonight we want to talk about the S-hole country that the Democrats are turning us into. Now, nobody wants to live in an S-hole. No, nobody wants to live in a toilet bowl. Nobody wants to live in a pig's pen. Nobody want that, man. Even dogs don't like to lay in crap. They don't like to lay in crap. You want to house train a puppy? I mean, all that old school mess that we used to try growing up. All right, let's get some newspapers, and then we could train the dog how to go and poop on the newspapers. No, that never worked. That never worked. They found every spot but the newspaper. Puppy pads, No. What you do is you get you a small cage when you bring that puppy home and you put that puppy in there. And maybe the first night he might take a dookie right in his cage. But then he'll realize, I don't like laying in this. I do not like laying in this mess. So now what happened, that puppy will think twice. He'll say, I'll poop anywhere but where I sleep. So here is our country, and we have to sleep here. And what's happening? The Democrats are turning it into a big S-hole. Nobody wants to sleep in this mess, and we're going to show you all of the elements, all of the characteristics of an S-hole country. See, so just in case people are thinking, if you're being hyperbolic, you're saying, S-hole. I mean, come on, really, are they really trying to do that? Well, let's take an evaluation, and then we'll conclude at the end. Are they really doing that or not? Starting off, guys, with what element? If you want to find an S-hole country, you got to deal with certain things like such.
I was going to ask you, we ran out of time.
Crazy social ideas. There you go. That's one of the first things you can start doing to unravel a country and turn it into an S-hole country. You make everybody in the country stupid. You make everybody in the country delusional. You make everybody in the country start to embrace some of the most irrational thoughts and ideas. See, how you going to govern a country when you're not able to govern your own brain in reality? So listen to this.
The Atlantic put out an article last year, and it was called Separating Sports by Sex Doesn't Make Sense. and talked about how we separate sports like the WNBA just because it's just socialization.
You hear that? It's just socialization. See, this is coming from a alleged legitimate, magazine or whatever, and they're saying that separating sex in sports it's just socialization. The only reason we're doing it is because we've been programmed to do it, not because we automatically know that men and women are differently designed. Not because of that. It's because we've been told that. We've been told that. It's not because of the years and years since man was created. Women even knew that. Back when women was living on a prairie with the man, back when they were out there conquering all kind of territory. Do you think the women were like this? You know what, honey? I'm going out on a hunt with you. You think the women were picking their husbands based on flowers in their husband's hair and camel toe shoes and purple hair and driving a small miniature horse instead of a real horse? You know what? We want to conserve energy. I'm going to go get the pony when I go out to hunt for daisies and pick lilies for you. And we're going to eat on love. That's what we're going to do. We're going to eat on love because we're trying to save the environment. No, what would happen is they would find somebody who they felt, if I'm out in the field somewhere and he hear me screaming because a wolf or a bear is rolling up on the scene, he'll come with his man beard, with his taco meat on his chest, riding on a real horse, jump off with something and go to work on that bear. The woman didn't say, hey, honey, no, it's okay. I got it. I'm the same strength as you. I'm pretty sure, I stand a chance against this bear. Everybody understood up until crazy kicked in that there are physical differences between men and women. And if you deny that, why do we even have sexual abuse or domestic violent charges and stuff like that? And it usually leans towards the man taking advantage of the woman, the weaker vessel physically, the physical weaker vessel. If a man can't realize that, man, I don't need to punch her 8 times just because she slapped my face, then he's dumb. She give you one slap and you go to work on her. They're obviously going to stick it to you because they're going to say, look at you. You're 6'2", 215. She's 5'7", 115. And you felt one slap on the face, caused a flurry of blows that you could have walked away at any time. You were in no danger. Most men do not even fear when they're around a whole group of women because they don't feel threatened. Why don't they feel threatened, Kev? Why don't they feel threatened? Usually it's because they know they're about 5 to 10 times stronger than the smallest woman in the crowd. Usually that's because that. But you put that same man in a big old room of burly guys. Every guy's testosterone level goes up. Every guy's looking around like every single one of these dudes could be a threat because they're men. Now we've been operating like this all the way up until the last 15 years maybe. And now all of a sudden you got politicians, leaders, and entertainers and stuff thinking crazy like this.
This is insane.
I agree.
Okay. That's why people vote for Trump. Mm-hmm. Because there's stuff like that on the left that people just go, I know Trump's horrible, but separating by sports by sex makes perfect sense. Mm-hmm. And if you think it doesn't, you can't lead the country.
And if you think it doesn't, you're crazy. See, that's my point. Yeah. People that start thinking like this is being used to lead us right into an SO country. There it is. When your whole country can't even revolve around reality, can't detect truth from lies, fiction, from truth, then we're in trouble. We are in absolute trouble. So now here comes the dummy on the set, which it bothers me this guy's such a dummy because he's a brilliant writer. I love his comedy. But now listen to him.
Cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Okay. I'm just giving you the answer to the question you're asking all night long. Why do they vote for Donald Trump? It's not always because they like him. No, it's because stuff like that is kookier to them. People, and there's lots of kookier.
And look who he's sitting next to. Pencil neck, bug-eyed, watermelon-shaped face shift. Sitting next to the man who does nothing but pushes propaganda and lies. And so now Seth MacFarlane says that's cutting off your nose to spite your face. No, it's not. So what makes you say this, Seth?
They're trashing the Capitol? What the f***?
Thinking worse than trashing the Capitol? let's just say that they did trash the Capitol. Let's just say that. One-time event, one and done. But crazy lasts forever. See, this is what this guy don't even realize. So I know they didn't just go in there and try to launch an insurrection. This guy's basing his whole philosophy. He'd rather take all of this nonsense that the left is pushing to distort our reality, to put our children in danger because they're embracing this mentality and this doctrine. Yeah, he'd rather risk all of that, which is long-term ongoing damage to our country and our society, than to say, well, look what happened on J6. I mean, they trashed the Capitol. It got cleaned up, and then 2 hours later, they were all in there finishing business. But this mess is not getting cleaned up. It's getting worse. All because we got leaders in our country pushing this crap in society, like this bum. And like Jon Stewart, who you saw on my show last night, which Joe Rogan came straight out and was like, see, this is what made me wake up. I mean, I'm sitting there going, oh, okay, y'all guys have lost your mind. Y'all going too far, man. There's a limit to my liberalism. But here's this guy talking about, look at, thought they trashed the Capitol. So therefore, we should be okay with policies that allow grown men to go in the bathroom with kids, women, all of that stuff. Jump in sports that they know that they're physically stronger in. You want to unravel a society? Push these policies.
I think, in a way, it is. It's apples and oranges. It's apples and oranges. One is more evil. One is more horrible. But thinking that, what would happen if we combine the WNBA and the NBA?
Yeah, tell us.
Well, LeBron would go from averaging 25 to averaging 70.
Well, you hear that? LeBron would go from averaging 25, and Stephen A. Smith is no conservative whatsoever. 25 to averaging 70 points a game. In fact, me, Kev from Kev's Corner, which basketball ain't my favorite sport. I don't like the way they dribble up and down the court. I'm horrible. Man, I'm ambidextrous, but the crazy part is I can't dribble with my left. Don't know why. Do all kind of other stuff with my left. I shoot a rifle left-handed, play pool left-handed. I'm even mixed up with my feet. I can punt left or right. Sometimes I field goal kick with my right, punt with my left. Whatever feels good. But you throw a basketball in my left hand, I'm like, what is this? What is this? So I'm limited to one hand. One hand, no exchanges. I'm not going between the legs. I'm not taking it around the back. I'm Kareem skyhooking every shot, looking at the rim, telegraphing my shot. And I think I could fare well if I jump in there with women right now. Right now. Not even in my prime. Can't even get the rim no more. Back in the day, I could actually slam. I'm only 5'9". I could actually dunk a ball because I had ups. But right now, man, them ups right now probably, there we go. That's it, slight lift. There we go. And I probably can get in there and fare well. In other sports, at this age, I know that I can get in there and dominate. Stuff that I actually was good at. Let me come out of retirement right now and get in there and start wrestling women and see what happens. Let me get out there with a couple days of practice, some sprints. I probably could fare well against some, high school women easily. They'd be like, what is that grown man doing out there running? What grown man? That's a grown woman. What are you talking about? Booking. No big old beard and everything. Ha, ha, ha. Leaning back tight. When your back get tight, you start leaning back like a rubber band is connected from your forehead down to your ankles, pulling it. No form, arms way out here. And still winning. People booing me. And I'm like, shut up. Let me live my truth. This is how crazy society is getting.
And first of all, I have no idea what these outlets gain by allowing comments on their sites.
Now, see, this is how it starts. This is how insanity starts. This is where the S-hole begins. This is where the shite originates from. It's ideas like what he's about to say. This man is putting his faith in the media. Listen to this.
It's like this reporter took the time to research this, to fact check it, oversight from an editor, and if they got it wrong, then they have to print a retraction.
Of course.
What if it's just slanted? What if it's wrong, but what if it's just slanted? What if it's not wrong, it's just slanted? And that's what somebody's pointing out in the column.
Well, then write a letter to the editor. Do your research and formulate your argument.
What editors? You know how long we've been watching MSNBC, CNN do this? and they seem to have no editor. Editors are okay with it. They got to say something so asinine for the editor or the program manager or whoever to make them do a retraction. It got to be real bad, because most of the time the editor probably wrote it for them or okayed it. All right, here's what we're all going to do. Today we're going to go out and Trump's Hitler. Trump's Mussolini. Go ahead, Joey Reid, you're up. So nobody's editing that. They're supporting that. They all think the same way. They're all on one accord. They all have a goal and a mission. There's no checks and balances in the fake news. What is this bum talking about? But in his mind, he thinks like a lot of people think, which allows people to get manipulated. Why would the news do that? I mean, there's obviously people in there that would check them if they were lying and making up stories, right? You never stop to think that they all could be together. They all could be on one accord. They all could be, in one big cabal. You never stop to think like that. You actually think that there are people in there. Oh, now wait, I read that right there. I read that article. You can't release that, man. Come on. You're calling Trump Mussolini. I mean, that's not fair and balanced. That's not fair and balanced. There's nobody in there doing it.
That appears a week later.
So what?
But then I've forgotten it, or I don't see
Yeah,
it.
you hear that? All they got to do is just retract it if it's a lie. How many times we've seen that happen? Crickets. And even if it does, we probably won't even know about it because it's retracted 7 days later on page 735 in the smallest cooking section of by the way, a great recipe for spaghetti and meatballs is great. Oh, and Trump's not Hitler. And then we also feel that if you put a little cavatolis and just that little bit, you're supposed to be like, oh, wow, they retracted that. You drop out the initial lie, let that mess spread, and most of the time they even ignore it when the fact checking come out to be false. We still haven't heard them come out and retract all of the Russia collusion delusion. We still haven't heard them do that. They usually double up on it. Bring back the same people who started it and lied about it. Come on, Hillary, she's back. Unreal. So now what is this fool talking about? That what the editor would then they send out a retraction.
It's like there's this thing we take for granted now that the journalist who did the work gets to have their piece put on the same
So
shelf
naive.
as everyone else's spur of the moment bullshit.
You seem to trust journalists more than I do.
I trust.
Which you are a prime candidate for propaganda. This man trusts the establishment, except for Trump. Yeah, he's I guarantee you, he'll trust that bug-eyed, pencil-necked Schiff sitting right next to him. If Schiff leaned over and said, hey, Trump got peed on by some Russian hookers, that's crazy. Trump, I mean, he'll do something like that. I guarantee you he'll trust that fool. He'll trust anybody. And this is the problem with brainless people. Smart as Seth Rich is, he's dumb. Or he's willfully on the team of the left. But it's a high probability he is just a bleeding heart liberal that is very biased to the degree where he just blindly trusts whatever comes out of the media and the Democrats, of course. Let a Republican say something. He'll question it from start. As soon as they open their mouth. I was thinking lies.
Certain journalists, yeah.
Yeah, I do. Certain ones I do.
Yeah.
Not a lot. And
Not a lot?
no. And everything I read, whatever source, it's only half the truth. They print the narrative. They don't print truth.
That's a generalization, though.
Well, it is, but it's because it's generally true.
Thank you. Well, that's a generalization, Yeah, because it's generally true. More than you'll ever know. This was a big wake-up call when I realized just how much fake news is coming out of the media. Majority of mainstream media is fake. Majority of it. And the sad part is the alternative networks get suppressed. They get labeled as fringe, far extremist, far right. And if you're really small, like myself, just an independent, then you get blasted and suppressed right on the internets and stuff. So this guy over here is talking about you really believe that's a generalization. No, it's actually more truthful than not. And here he is going, what? I'm shocked. Now I don't know if he really believes that. He seems like he might even be genuine. He might be really going, come on, how can that be? How can that be? And this is why so many people fall victim of this, because the average brain has been conditioned to trust these institutions, to trust them, to say they can't be like this. It will blow my whole reality to find out that our system is designed to manipulate me, to control my mind, to, be this evil. They can't fathom it. That's why the government sometimes say we can't even reveal to the people certain things because they wouldn't be able to handle it. If we let them know aliens was really in the basement down here, that would blow their minds. It would mess up their whole reality. Let's keep that on the low. There's so many things that the human mind in America has been conditioned to just say, I wouldn't be able to handle the truth. Well, guess what? I'd rather know the truth than to live ignorantly. To wake up one day and ignorantly find myself in communism, things like that. Wake up one day and be like, wow, I had no idea CNN talked me straight into the gulags, talked me straight out of my rights to defend myself, talked me straight out of my First Amendment. No idea. I thought they were a legitimate news organization. Why would they do that? See, that's what they're relying on. Simple-minded people that have an open, receptive heart based on conditioning to believe that these institutions are legitimate. And here he is talking about that. You really believe that?
They print the side of the story.
By the way, that's exactly what Donald Trump wants.
Oh, there we go. And that's exactly what Adam Schiff and all of them want you to say. They want you to, that shows he's programmed. See, whenever you rebuttal, immediately say, well, that's what Donald Trump will want everybody to say. That's a Donald Trump thing, whatever. So now all of a sudden, any rational thought coming in gets trumped by Trump derangement syndrome. See, so immediately, that's what Donald Trump. So if I really want to get my cult members bought in, I want them to have an automatic resistance to truth. I want them to immediately respond to truth and say, Donald Trump sent you. Donald Trump would tell you to say that. That's something Donald Trump would do. Yeah, I ain't even got to worry about you, man. If I got you to the point where your immediate response is Trump, then I'm good. That one's done. Let's move on to the next one that might still have some common sense left. So Seth Rich is cooked. He's done. Take him out the oven.
Just said is exactly what he wants.
It doesn't matter.
Don't trust the reporters.
Okay.
Don't trust the journalists.
Well, Hitler was a vegetarian. Doesn't mean I'm like Thomas. But they print the half that they want. That is going to make people like you, who are a partisan, very partisan. You want to read something that that makes me feel good.
There you go. So now, that's one side of it. That's one side of creating an S-hole country, see? It's one side of it. You get the media, you get these institutions that start distorting reality, manipulating, using propaganda, using gaslighting to control the minds of the people. That's just one element. The next element is what? A terrible economy. Yeah, you want to create an S-hole country, you go after an economy and destabilize that bad boy. Boy, I tell you, you can see the shite from here. You're like, wow, I see shite ahead. I see shite ahead. Because the economy is raggedy. Look at this TikToker who had an opinion about the economy. Here we go.
Everything so damn expensive. 4 years ago, my rent was $1,200 a month at a luxury apartment complex. It is now $2,100, not even including utilities.
Woo, Shama. 2,100 from 1,200 4 years ago. Wait a minute. Who was the president 4 years ago? It was Trump. Oh, my fault. It was Trump. So now it's 2,100. I think he said something like that. Now you gotta understand. In Youngstown, $1,200 for an apartment. That mug better be a penthouse. $1,200 a month. You could be living in like a $500,000-$600,000 house here in Youngstown, easily, if not close to $1 million for $1,200 a month. And now he's paying $2,100. Give me the millionaire house in Youngstown. I would be living large, big old patio on top of the roof. But now here this guy is ranting about all of this.
I went to the grocery store yesterday, right? And got 3 bags of chips, some ground turkey, and some vegetables. And it was $67! What? My car insurance from 4 years ago until now, with no tickets, no wrecks, no nothing on my driver's record, has gone from $130 to $240 per month!
What? Look at all of that. But that's Bidenomics. That's Bidenomics. See, Yeah, don't worry, inflation's down, and you know what? We just got to get the message out to our people about all the stuff we've done. Binomics. Huh.
3 years ago, my electric bill was averaging $45. Now it's averaging $125.
This man's mad. This man is mad. Boy, he's furious. He's like, yeah, but what? $145? Okay, wait. I'm sure it gets better. I wonder what could be the factor here. Oh, Democrats are in charge. So it's S-hole season. That's what it is. It is shite season when they're running the country. Let's see what else he's complaining about.
You go and get a tank of gas once a week, and you're dropping $70. I mean, a guy can't even buy a can of dip for less than $8.
And you know, I remember when Trump was president, y'all. I was going up and down the highway all the time, all night long, all night, all night, all night long, all night, all night, dancing in the street. I was going up and down the street to Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Columbus, and didn't even care. Don't worry about it, man. I don't need your gas money. Oh, come on, Kev, let us chip in. No, your money's no good here. It's on me. Filling it up. Then Biden got in, and I'm staring at the pump, waiting for it to stop. Don't even take my finger off. I used to get in and just click, get back in the car, and don't even pay attention. Start listening to music. Now I'm out there monitoring it. Like, okay, now, nothing crazy. Don't make me stop this. Don't you. I went and bet it on my tank the other day. I filled up my pickup. And I'm just like, okay. All right, so let me see. I like to play the Price is Right. So, I was almost on E. I'm going to fill it up. So I'm sitting out there, all right, what do you think the retail price is going to be? I'm like, I'm thinking 60, around 60. So it hits 40. And it's like maybe, a third field. And I'm like, okay, I should be good. I should be close to 50, 60 rather. Next, 55, 56, 70. What? 75. What? $80. $80. And I'm sitting there going, this same truck would get filled up at 60, if not less, 4 years ago. Binomics, or I'm sorry, Putin's gas hike. That's what it was. It was Putin's gas hike.
$8 for a can of dip. What the? So for those of you who don't know,
Same guy, y'all. Now that video of his went viral. And you know what else creates a shite hole, country? Is when politicians are corrupt and use propaganda. Use propaganda to change the minds of the people. Bribery. They can't really see, like, nobody pays me to support Trump. See, when you got good policies, it's organic. People do what they do because they're going, I like this person's ideas, I support their policies, and I hope everybody votes so this could benefit me and everybody else. But Democrats know their policies suck. So they got to play little games. So they found this guy, y'all, on the internet, and they don't want everybody to see that they're trying to create America into a S-hole ran country. See, they don't want that. So they tried to intercept this guy because people were watching his rants. And look what they offered him. Wow, they tried to give him an indecent proposal.
I am a critic of the current economy. And recently I've been posting my thoughts on the economy. And, obviously it's not good. I'm not saying it's Trump's fault. I'm not saying it's Biden's fault. I'm not saying it's anyone's fault. But obviously Biden is president and the economy sucks. So, naturally the blame lies on him. And some of these videos of me being extremely critical of the government have gone so viral that I was literally featured at 7 p.m. on prime time on Fox News the other night.
What?
And this morning I got an email from someone claiming to be from the Democratic Party.
We can't have a young man out there exposing that the Democrats are garbage and responsible for destroying our economy. See, instead of the message being organic, instead of people just saying, you know what, you don't have to, convince and manipulate me into thinking that the economy is doing well because I feel it. Because I go to the pumps, I'm like, wow, those prices are decent. I go to get groceries, I'm like, oh, wow, look at that. Eggs are down a little bit. Yeah, instead of doing that convincing people through reality. They come out on TV and they lie. The economy's doing great. I created all these jobs. And when they find somebody with some influence exposing that all of those are lies, they want to see if they can convert him so that what? They can manipulate the people. Democrats, man.
And they said, what would your rate be to post positive videos about Joe Biden? And I replied back, honestly, I know nothing about the economy. I don't pretend to know anything about the economy. And I know nothing about politics, and I'd rather stay out of it. After all, I'm just a normal guy. I'm not a politician. I'm not a conservative or a liberal talking point. I'm just a normal person. So they responded back, we understand you're not a fan of the Democrat Party right now. How much would it cost?
Whoa. How much would it cost? They hit this dude with a Kerry Lake. They hit him with the Kerry Lake. All right, why don't you name your price? Give me a counter offer. Boy, how tempting would this be? Let's see.
I was like, you know what? I wonder how bad they want me to post this. 50 grand. And they said yes.
What?
Those of you that don't know anything about social media, I have another account that's massive. And like for brand deals on my 3 million follower account, I get like 5 grand. They offer me 50 grand for a video on this account with only like 400,000 followers? I'm not gonna lie, I was very, very tempted, but I didn't do it.
Thank you. Holy mo! Now that just goes to show how desperate the Democrat Party is to try to change the perception of this SO-ran government right about now. They were willing to pay that dude 50 grand. And I see so many of these TikTokers, young dudes out there that ridiculously supports Joe Biden. They get out there and say the most craziest things and found out that, hey, they were being paid by the Democrat Party to get out there because they don't have true, real supporters. They don't have true, real supporters. If you're really supporting them, boy, you're special. You're special. Yeah. And the same thing, I will go so far. He's no different than Joy Reid and all them, even though he didn't accept it. What I'm saying is, if you get people to do this stuff, basically what you're doing is you're paying them to do what Joy Reid and fake crapper and all the rest of them do. They do the same thing just for even more money and on a very, organized set. That's it. So they're willing to use anybody that they can to push this type of propaganda. They're trying to pay people to prostitute themselves. So why can't they just win naturally? Well, because they're creating an SO country. That's why. It's hard to get people to get out there and cheer you on when they're saying, I'm smelling shite all around me. Oh, you're going to pay me to lie? Oh, okay. So you want me to say I'm not seeing the shite? All right, how much? $50,000? Okay, I don't see any shite anywhere. As you step all in it. But see, that's what they're about. But then you got to go out there to California, see, where, what? Weak on crime. So we got some multiple elements here. We got breaking down society by changing reality, morality, and things like that. Then we got using propaganda, people to push propaganda to cover up your crap. Then you got weak on crime. Wow, these are 3 major elements into turning our country into a SO-ran country. Let's see.
Okay, In-N-Out is out of Oakland. One of California's most popular, profitable burger chains is shuttering its Oakland restaurants. Companies saying just not safe enough.
Well, that's Bidenomics in action.
Customers tell me they aren't shocked to hear the restaurant is closing its doors. A security guard at the In-N-Out today told me she's seen up to 10 break-ins in a single day.
What? Is that even possible? Is that possible? How can you operate? So that means for one customer that comes in, you get a robber. All right, is this her? How many in your party? It's just me. All right, thank you. Have a seat. How you doing, sir? Hey, what's happening? How many in your party? Oh, don't worry about seating me. I'm here to rob. Okay, well, the cash register's open. It's in the back. Okay, next. Come on up. So you got a conveyor belt of robberies in one day. You would think the cops would just stake out there. You'd think they just sit there outside like, all right, in the next 5 minutes or so, more burglars will be coming in. But this is Cali, man. This is Cali. Unbelievable. Boy, the U.S. right now is looking like a shithole country.
But residents say it's too little, too late. The In-N-Out in Oakland is located in one of the hotspot areas for crime, near 98th Avenue and Hagenberger. It's an area criminals know they can find unsuspecting tourists coming from the airport.
Although In-N-Out says it's been a profitable location for 18 years, they just can't ask their employees or customers to work and visit an unsafe environment.
Boy, this is like Mad Max. Welcome to the Thunderdome. All we need is to be under Thunderdome. We don't need another hero. And we don't need to know the way home. All we need is to be under Thunderdome. You know, Tina Turner, Thunderdome. All of that mess. I feel like we're living under Thunderdome. So cats in the broad daylight, like animals, predators, looking into your car. Do you understand how quick I'd go out and purchase like 2 of the most vicious pit bulls that sit in the car every time I get out? You get out to pump the gas and somebody taking off in your car with the pump still in. Wait a minute, where you going? This is ridiculous. We're living in Thunderdome.
You can't even leave your car right here to go in there. Within 1 minute, your stuff is getting smashed.
I love this place. I hate to see it go.
On Sunday morning, as In-N-Out announced its closure, Oakland police say they arrested someone for removing an ATM from the wall at the Bank of America.
Oh my God.
And just a couple hundred feet away.
You know you're a real criminal when you're removing the ATM. All right, taking your time too. See, this is how bad things are. Where the criminals are like, hey man, no rush. We ain't even gotta do it at night. We ain't gotta do it at night, man. You know what I'm saying? We used to have to stay up, wait for everything to be quiet, you know what I'm saying? Look around, make sure ain't nobody watching, check cameras and stuff. Why do that? Come out with your toolbox. Yeah. Sir, what are you doing? I'm still in this ATM. Do you mind? Matter of fact, hand me that wrench right there. Thank you. All right. Yeah. Broad daylight.
At the Raising Cane's on Hagenberger, a manager says they were forced to close their indoor dining area and provide employees with a secure fence for parking, all due to break-ins.
The challenge that we have as an administration is we gotta let people know who brung it to them.
Yeah, who brung us this shite? And y'all having a problem doing that, so that's why you gotta pay people. You gotta pay people to come out and say that no, you're not stepping in shite. That shite is chocolate. No, please eat it. Please eat it. See, look at that wicked witch.
That's our challenge.
It seems like another thing is closing in Oakland, another thing is leaving Oakland, all this stuff. And I get it now. You know what I mean? People ain't trying to deal with this, but you know, we're the ones, especially us East Oaklanders, like we really suffered.
Oakland residents blame city leadership.
The crime getting worse, so the city really need to help us out.
Subway on 98th permanently closed recently due to crime. The same owner also owns the Chevron property on Hagenberger and is worried he'll have to close another one of his businesses for the same reason.
Won't you take me to Chi Town? Won't you take me to Chi Town?
I think it's just very sad that we've essentially forced a business to close because of crime, and that somehow nothing can be done about that.
A robbery once made Nick fear for his life.
I've been robbed at gunpoint.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
And it's chilling.
Yeah.
He doesn't want anyone else to go through what he did. He hopes the city can come up with solutions to make this area safe for everyone.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Not with Democrats running it. Oh, man. It's not going to happen with Democrats running. Because you got to understand, guys, every single thing I'm showing you is a result of Democrat policies. See, they have single-handedly started to turn us into an S-hole country. All of these categories and areas, all of these situations, these cities that all of this stuff is taking place in, Democrat policies have led to every single one of these things. Every single one of these things. And they act like they have no idea why these things are happening. They can't go back and retrace their steps and realize, wait a minute, how did crime become so bad? Oh, well, first of all, we demonized the police. Then we got rid of bail. And then we start letting out folks all over the place that should have been locked up. Then we lowered the requirements to put them in jail by saying, well, you know what? If they're just a little bit of a criminal, we don't need to bother with that. All right, it got to be big stuff. Got to be big stuff. And then at the end of the day, you get this. So just as bold or as these criminals right here out in California, broad daylight, The same thing at our border. When you lower all of the standards, you make them think they're entitled to come. They go from sneaking across our border in the middle of the night to just doing it right out in the open, right out in our faces, boldly, walking across, right in front of the cops, looking at them like, what? I don't see what the problem is. Same thing with crime. You go ahead, let them get the message that, you know what, crime, you could get a little bit of crime pays in Democrat-ran cities. Now, what do you get? Same type of mentality. Breaking into stuff in the middle of the day multiple times. Look at this as we close with Gavin Newsom talking about some, that's the California
Join us in
way.
California.
Look at that. Look at that. Broad daylight.
Join us in California.
No, my brother. You got to keep
Join us in California.
Oh, hell no.
Darn tootin'. H-E double hockey sticks no. Broad daylight. Criminals lack fear. Do you want to live in that type of SO-ran state? I mean, I'm telling you right now, I would never sleep. I would never sleep. I would be up all night looking out my window like, okay, now who is that walking the street? All right, where's that? Wait. I mean, the provisions you would have to create to make sure your stuff was safe. Look what these companies had to do. We got to now build a fence. We got to go. I thought gates and fences and stuff were racist. Yeah, got to do all of that. Can't let people dine inside because of crime. I'm thinking, how do you even rob a restaurant, like a fast food restaurant? Once the first robber comes in and steal all the money, all you're left with is burgers and stuff. Next guy comes in, all right, I want the money out. Oh, well, you're a little late. About 2 minutes ago, another guy robbed the piggy bank. Oh, wow. Okay, well, give me all them sandwiches right now. Hurry up. Post haste right now. In the bag, all the sandwiches. Get those fries too. Multiple times, 6, 7 times a day. Well, when is the next shipment of money coming? Around 3 o'clock. I'll be back at 3. Have it boxed up for me. This is unbelievable, man, that this is happening around our country. But it gets worse. What started?
Overnight, Oregon.
Here's another element. Mass drug abuse. There you go. It's funny how China don't have a big drug addiction problem. Isn't that kind of funny? It's funny how strict Russia is when it comes down to drugs. That's why Brittany Griner almost spent like 20 years in jail. Because they know when your society gets numbed up with drugs, it is a failed society. When you go out to California, you see people bent over, sleeping in an L position somehow with the pants down. Your society has collapsed. And it's really sad when the legislation actually supports this. Check this out, y'all.
And it became the first state in the country to decriminalize most street drugs. A Measure 110 also brings new support to addiction treatment and recovery.
Decriminalize most street drugs. Bad idea.
There you go. Democrats, bad ideas. All of the things we're seeing is because of bad ideas. Every one of them. So now what are they doing? They're turning the U.S. into a complete SO. Complete.
The people in Oregon that may feel these are still illegal drugs, we should be looking at a different system. What is your pitch to bring them on board?
Well, while we haven't seen this approach.
And it's funny, man. All women, and I ain't got nothing against women, but these are liberal, middle to upper class white women. I mean, liberal white women and liberal guys, liberal white men, they got this crazy philosophy of, I guess, trying to rid themselves of white privilege and white guilt. That we're going to go ahead and lower all of the standards in black and minority areas because we think they're oppressed and lack the ability to self-regulate. So we're going to eliminate that, and hopefully they'll just regulate on their own. And all they end up doing is making the problem worse. You don't help the black community by getting rid of cops. You don't help the black community by letting more of the black and other criminals out on bail so they can go right back into the black neighborhoods and terrorize the people again. Do you think when you do that, You think you let a person out on bail who just got done robbing a couple people in the neighborhood, that right there is enough to make them change their ways? Oh man, that was a close one. Yeah, I could have been up the river. I'm not going to be robbing anymore. What they're going to do is say, I got away with that. I can't believe it. Back in the day, I would have been locked up forever. But now what I'm going to do? Go back out and do it again. See, and they think they really are helping us. That's what burns me up about this. So it's now leaking out of these impoverished, lower income, underprivileged areas into all of our society, which eventually, if nothing doesn't stop the spread, we're going to collapse into an SO country, all because of stupid policies like this.
In the US, until now, we've seen it in other places where it has been very successful.
Very successful. Always looking over, the pond, always looking over somebody else's fence. Let's see what Europe's doing. Let's see what other countries. We want to be progressive. We want to stay up on and walking themselves right into a mess.
Places like Portugal.
Be careful what you wish for.
The governor of Oregon has declared an emergency for the city of Portland just a few years after it became the first state in the nation to largely decriminalize drug use. Very interesting story here. There had been hope that a more humane approach could help curb addiction overall, but it hasn't worked out that way, at least so far.
And I wonder why. What did you think would happen? Like, they are so dumb. When they do this stuff, man, I be going, you don't understand cause and effect. When I hear these crazy liberal policies and ideas get thrown out there, this right here is progressive. What we're going to do is we're going to abolish the police and watch crime go down. We're going to send in counselors. And I'm going, you think that who's sat in the room with y'all and say, you know what, we think this will be a good idea? Who are the people? Y'all are looking at cause and effect. You can't see, deduce the potential outcome. Let's go ahead, stop punishing people for using all kind of drugs on the streets. So now they ain't even got to hide. They ain't even got to go, man, I can't buy these drugs. Shoot, man, if I get caught with a whole ounce of whatever. So now you eliminate the basic threats. So now somebody who at one point might have made a decision not to buy drugs because they're going, man, if the police pull me over and see that I got these mugs on, I'm in trouble. You eliminate that. Now all of a sudden it's like, there is no risk. I'll take a pound of cocaine, please, thank you. And then nothing happens to them. Now look at these rich, white, middle, upper class, looks like feminist women who are now starting to rethink their decision.
Today, the state of Oregon, Multnomah County, and the city of Portland are each declaring a 90-day state of emergency to address the crisis of fentanyl use in Portland's central city.
That we created, looking like Rachel Madcow's girlfriend at the full comb over. Let's finish hearing this.
We know that despite past action, we've seen fatal opioid-related overdoses increase fivefold from 2018 to 2022.
Man, I'm sorry. I couldn't live in a city or state governed by these people. It looks like they're so out of touch, so liberal. Everything about their aura is progressive. It's out of touch. It's liberal. We're so far out and we're so advanced. And, we definitely know the struggles and the atrocities of the inner city, and that how can these people help struggling people? You think this person understands what's going on in the hood, what's going on in the drug community? They're coming out, they're running experiments to try to see if they can fix it. And you know what? Just playing with people's lives. You know what? Let's try this. I think that might work. Who knows? Now it all backfires and they got to backtrack. Looking stupid up there with that haircut.
Including a record high 209 people in the county dying from overdoses involving fentanyl in 2022.
Well, look at that.
We also know that these deaths are compounded by social factors, including increased isolation, economic challenges, housing shortages and instability, and systemic racism.
There it is. Couldn't suppress that stupid liberal ideology that led you right to where you're at right now. All of that stupid stuff, the injustice, the indigenous people, and then you have to look at the systemic racism. Systemic racism doesn't make people take drugs, you idiot. Oh, God. See, probably ain't done no statistics to find out how many black people versus white people overdose with opioids. I mean, when you look at certain drugs, meth Most of the time, that's white folks. Do you sit back and say it's because it's systemic racism and that because that's why they're taking meth? They are so delusional. They cannot just conclude it's our dumb policies that led to this. No, it got to be all of these other reasons why these people are on drugs.
And instability and systemic racism.
And every time, every single.
What the heck? Oops. I went too far. Wait, let me go back to the systemic racism. Oh, wait, there it is. Here we go. Wait a minute. Wait.
Challenges, housing shortages and instability and systemic racism.
That's what it is.
And every time, every single time.
We're up against.
That's how I feel. Every single time, every problem, when it comes down to Democrats, somehow you're able to tie it into systemic racism. We understand that all of these little black kids are breaking into buildings and robbing all of these stores and things like that because of systemic racism. We understand that, it rained today, okay, because of systemic racism. We understand that black and impoverished communities are more susceptible to getting COVID because of systemic racism. It's unbelievable. I don't want to hear that again. I am so sick of hearing systemic racism. It goes in one ear and out the other. I can almost finish their sentences. Any guess? Systemic racism. How did you know? Oh, and here's a white liberal man.
Against a rising tide of fentanyl-related addiction and deaths that are unlike anything that we've seen before.
Emotional, guys, okay?
So now, you see, drugs is another element of creating an S-hole country, a third world country. Now, what is this? Putting your citizens last. Yeah. See, when you got politicians and leaders who put their citizens last, you see that in every SO-ran country, every one of them. So let's just see how the Democrats are doing that in their journey to create us into a S-hole country.
Okay? Because I'm committed to this. Little kids need to be able to breathe clean air. They need to be able to access swimming pools. They need to have lifeguards there who are going to teach them how to swim. Yeah. And they need to have activities. I don't know what we're going to do for a couple, 3 months. I'll call universities and call other places.
The governor went on to say she is also looking at other locations, but has not said exactly where.
Meanwhile,
because I can't yell. And I'm angry. That's why.
Come on, calm down, brother.
So why can't I get in the building?
Yeah, why can't the brother get in the building?
Why?
Because he's black. That's what it is. Or it's because he's American. Now, before they brought in these precious illegal immigrants to take up this building right here, this black man would have had first priority. So now you got a black neighborhood. They got a rec center that all the black kids and black folks was using. And then all of a sudden, in the middle of the night, they replace all these black people with illegal immigrants. Ta-da! Look at that. So now all of a sudden it shows just how much they care about Americans and black people. About illegal immigrants? Because the black man now can't get in. So, wow, it's looking like the old days. He's excluded from the country club.
Where's the mayor at?
Where's the mayor at?
Y'all, this sounds a sham, y'all. Go about money.
The brother mad.
Don't give a f about the motherfuckers that was born and raised here. Y'all raised the rich. So
out there in Boston. Out there in Boston, baby.
Can't afford to live here. But y'all gonna bring some other motherfuckers here?
Thank you, brother.
That doesn't add up. It doesn't make no sense.
And the cops are like, I feel you, man. I feel you. I'm working for this dumb liberal mayor too. That's making me come out here and guard the place and protect their illegal immigrants. See? Slap in the face to American citizens.
None. I'm homeless. I work a full-time job.
And all he want to do is come in there, get a little relaxation, get a couple of these in. That's all he want to do. Now you got the brother standing out in the cold with his triple fat goose on, fur around the corner, hat hanging off the back. All he want to get in is a quick workout, and they got him standing out on the curb.
They can't pay to live here. How the f y'all gonna bring somebody else here?
Because they don't care about you. All I want to say is that they don't really care about you. Enough is enough of this garbage. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. That's why. See, because they are running our country like an SO ran country.
Don't make no sense.
Sure doesn't, brother.
The migrants that were sleeping at Logan Airport are beginning to arrive at a Roxbury Rec Center, which will now serve as a temporary shelter. It's a situation that's causing concern within the community. Governor Maura Healey and Boston Mayor Michelle Wu stopped by to see it for themselves. Our NBC 10's Carla Rojo joining us live there in Roxbury to explain. Carla, good evening.
Yeah, that's right. So actually moments ago, a bus full of migrants did arrive here at the center. A few of them got off, but then someone...
But wait just a minute. Wait just a minute. Why is this lady out there at that shelter late at night doing this report? Why didn't they bring these precious illegal immigrants in there mid-afternoon? Well, we'll find out.
Who works here at the complex did tell them to get back in, and it seems that they drove around the building. So the state expects that 75 individuals will be arriving today. Some of them are children, around 20 of them. And of course, just being here today, we saw some protesters not being happy about this plan.
They say they work for the people. Nobody in Roxbury asks for this.
The Milnea Cass Recreational Complex is being used as an overnight temporary shelter, and people in Roxbury like Sean Nelson are expressing frustration with this plan.
Well, wait a minute. I thought it was America first. Yeah, I thought our leaders were to look out for American citizens first. Oh, my fault. Democrats are creating an S-hole country. Yeah, where they govern America last. See, it's Democrat policies and agenda first. Unbelievable. And now the people that voted for these people like Michelle Wu are now all of a sudden mad. So I can't just blame the corrupt leadership. These people are voting for an SO country.
Now, our kids are going to leave out while their kids are getting all these resources off our tax dollars.
Today, Governor Maura Healey and Boston's Mayor Michelle Wu.
They come to inspect their work. Here come the governor, y'all. Clear the way. Here come the governor and the mayor, Michelle Wu, who's definitely in touch with black people. Yeah, see, you got to understand, this is the woman who had a segregated Christmas party for only people of color, unlike herself, who's pale, or than the lady standing next to her. But we just wanted this to be people of color. Now, all of a sudden, what about this joint? The same people of color can't even go in and use this rec center?
Toward the center that has the ability to accommodate 400 individuals or about 100 families. Cots, baby strollers, and toys were in place, ready to welcome the migrants.
Woo! Look at that, y'all. Yeah, they wanted to tidy up, make sure they felt welcome. Probably got cards and a couple flowers there. Welcome to your new home in America. Yeah. And then outside the door, you guys been replaced by illegal immigrants. I wonder if the local citizens who go in there to work out get cots and baby toys and stuff like that. This right here, man, burns me up. This is unbelievable. And that's why I say we are teetering on an S-hole country right now.
Many of them were just sleeping on the floors of Logan International Airport.
We come to this site, first of all, it is temporary. We will be out before June. It is important to have this site available to the community.
Governor Healey says she understands the concerns, but with the lack of housing during this crisis, this center was the only solution, reminding people that these migrants have arrived legally.
What? They're not here legally?
While
they arrive illegally. They always say that. Like, oh, they're here legally, so we have no choice but to do these things. It's greater than us. They don't want the angry citizens to look at these people as illegal immigrants that y'all are prioritizing over us. So they always try to slide in that they're here legally. But boy, you saw Kathy Hochul accidentally leak it out that they're not here legally. So look at these nice fancy cots and everything, and little sacks and stuff for them, little bags and stuff for them. Yeah, that's how they treat American citizens right about now out there in Boston.
reassuring the community that rely on this complex that they are not alone.
We have been working hard with the city, with others, over the last several days to relocate programming. We've been successful with some. We have a few more that we are working on.
Mayor Wu talked to us about her trip to D.C. on Tuesday and meeting with officials from Homeland Security on this topic, while she continues to call on the federal government for assistance.
How did they let this woman become the ruler of it? Like, I cannot do that. I mean, okay. When you, this might sound sexist, so let me qualify this, okay? It's not that these are women. These are liberal women. These are the most really anti-men type women. They push identity politics so much that you already know one of their highest priority is not men, at least not, masculine men. And I couldn't sit under a weak woman like this, who I know I'm so far down on the totem pole when it comes down to my needs as a man. They're going to put everybody up above me. These are people who highlight all kind of stupid ideas, and they support all of the victimization groups and everything. And then what's ever left over, the men would get. The men would get at the bottom. I could not be governed by somebody like this. Now, you give me a Huckabee rather, yeah. You give me a strong Carrie Lake, yeah. People who don't have an agenda that also could emasculate men. Definitely attack white people. I'm just a man. I'm just a man. Now imagine if I was just a white man. That's even worse. If I was a white man, oh man, they're now at the very bottom. Very bottom. So I couldn't sit under that, man. I'm going, man, this is a weak woman who is got these crazy ideas and philosophies. Yeah, got weak on crime. Highlighting racism all over the place, putting everybody else's needs before mine. I'm too much of a man to sit under somebody like this. I hate to say it. I'd be like, man, I respect you if you're strong and fair as a woman. But this woman, everything about her is just, ugh. I would bounce for that reason only.
Some of not only the direct costs that can come from wanting to provide services to families like shelter, but also, again, staffing up on the school side and the extra resources that are needed for everyone to have all of the support.
Yeah, so the mayor also says that they'll be working with local businesses to provide some of that food, transportation, and other services. The state says they'll be using the center until May 31st. May 31st. And meanwhile, they will begin some renovations and have it ready for the community.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and have it ready for you guys after we finish using it all up. All the way to May 31st. So now we got us a sister out on the streets talking to Fox News about how she feel about the situation. Yeah, let's hear what she got to say about it.
And I saw your outrage. Why are you outraged?
Because this place was, like you said, it's free. It was a place for our children. Our children, I have 4 children, and it's sad, I have 4 boys, and we really don't have nothing in the community that's free for us.
Wow, 4 boys? Now you imagine the house that they live in is going to get tore up because they have no outlet. They get home from school, mama, we about to go down to the rec center, baby. The legal immigrants now own it. They own it now. You got to stay in there. What are we going to do in the house? I don't know. Go and play your games. Hear them upstairs. It's my turn. Get off of it, punk. Stop it. Don't touch me. That's what's going to go on. Because that went on with just me and my brother. It was only 2 of us. She had 4. And they got to be cooped up in the crib during the rest of the winter while the illegal immigrants enjoy their facility.
Don't get me wrong, it's great that they want to help the immigrants, but what about the Americans that are already here? What about the people that are already here that don't have homes, that don't have jobs, that are sleeping on the street already?
Well,
these people came from the airport here, probably on boats, probably on buses, and probably all for free. Now they're getting stipends, they're getting what else?
She's dropping nothing but bombs on them. Now see, she done hit some real points. See, that's how you know you're an SO-ran country. Yeah. So you got folks coming on boats, on planes. They're not coming in from the South American, no. So somehow they got enough money to fly all the way to South America only to come into our country. Jumping on boats, somehow making it to the rec center. Here you go. Getting all the resources that American citizens should get. And I hope every single American will see this and wake the heck up.
I need money for me and my kids, and I was born here. Like, you know, I know life is a struggle in itself, but this is not the answer to help them. Now it's going to destroy our community more and mess our children up more. Like, this is sad. I know a lot of people don't even know about this. I came here last night with my aunt, saw a lot of stadies, a lot of police, and this paper wasn't there yet. They just did this probably 2, 3 in the morning when they brought them here.
That did it. No wonder they showed up at night, y'all. They didn't want nobody to know that they were putting American citizens last, just like they showed up in the middle of the night on that big jumbo 747 with all those illegal immigrants and didn't tell nobody. Because they didn't want everybody to see how they have betrayed our citizens, our country, how they're replacing us with illegal immigrants. They don't want nobody to see that. That's why they keep people from taking video footage of these hotels that are now completely occupied by illegal immigrants. Yeah, can I go in there? Nope, nobody's allowed in there. Why not? Well, because this is booked up. Well, what? I mean, there's no rooms left. There, sir. No more questions. You're not allowed in there. Why not? Because you don't want American citizens to realize what y'all are doing to them. So y'all operate in the dead of night like some type of slimy creature. That's what y'all do. So they show up at night. Then in the morning, you just see the big sticker up there. I'm sorry. No Americans allowed. No Americans allowed.
When everybody sleep, that's when they brung them here probably. On buses, I saw New York plates. I saw Washington, D.C. plates.
The swamp plates.
So they have that much money to come from Washington, D.C. to do this, to do that.
Get mad, girl.
Why are they not helping the people here first?
Thank you.
We need help.
Let's talk to one of
Woo-wee. That sister's mad. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. So they show up with the swamp plates. That's what it should say on it. Swamp. That's it. From New York, swamp. Washington, swamp. We already know who they are. Somebody said Charlie Brown. Y'all be knowing the references. No dogs allowed. No dogs allowed. Poor Snoopy. With his laugh. So now, no Americans allowed, y'all. Now let's hear it from this counselor. This person sits on city council. She's a white lady, y'all. Let's see how she feels about being a sanctuary city and how these people are being put last.
The counselors, Aaron, Ms. Murphy, thanks so much for joining us. When you hear the passion right here from...
That's what I hear in my office all the time.
All the time?
And it is a balance. Like I was telling you earlier, the state owns this building, so the governor has to make a decision on where to put the overflow migrants. But at the same time, the community needs to make sure that their services, that we keep their services in place.
Well, wait, I'm sure there is a facility in the governor's neighborhood. Why can't she just go ahead and put them there? I'm pretty sure there's probably rec centers where she lives. I'm pretty sure there's probably rec centers where the mayor lives. Yeah, I'm sure in upper class and middle class areas, I'm sure there are all kind of rec centers. Why don't they put them there? Same reason that they didn't put them in Martha's Vineyard. Let it be somebody else's problem. Yeah, send this mess to the people we claim are victimized, underprivileged, discriminated against. Send them there to create more problems in their neighborhoods. That's why.
Why would they declare Boston as a sanctuary city?
Because they're stupid.
I mean, I think a lot of cities across this country are, once they declare themselves a sanctuary city, I'm not sure if they knew the amount of support we were going to need to give.
Was that, I know you're a Democrat, but do you think declaring cities as sanctuaries was a mistake in retrospect?
Looking back, if our communities end up losing the services they need to live full lives, I think we may be questioning that. We do have to find a balance to make sure that those migrant families have a safe place to go, but at the same
time... Not really. That's the Democrat and her hanging on to stupid Democrat policies and beliefs. We don't have to find a balance. What we should do is there is a place for them to go. Back home. There you go. Solved it. Yeah. The place for these people to go is back to your home. Whatever country you came from, how about you go back there? There you go. So they're shipping them around in the middle of the night into all of these facilities. Just ship them right back to the crib. There you go. Problem solved. But don't forget, though, they're turning us into an S-hole country.
Same time, my concern, I'm an elected official here. I represent the whole city, and I'm the chair of public health in the last 2 years in homelessness. And I've centered my advocacy and policy on making sure that every resident has the resources they need. And I'm hearing that seniors and kids, like Effie was just telling us, that her own family, right, might be disrupted. So I'm making sure that the city is stepping up and connecting with all the departments so that these displaced, residents who use this every day.
Let's bring Keisha back in here. Keisha,
Yeah, bring Keisha back. I want to hear from her.
You hear that from your counselor? What do you want done right now?
Send them back home. Send them back. Do. Send them back.
Like she said, we want to help them, but at the same time, what about us that need help here? What about, I'm a mother and I have 4 children. They need help. They need somewhere to go. They need something to do.
What type of activities used to be in this building?
Skating ring, exercising.
Skating ring for now these illegal immigrants. Exercise rooms for now these illegal immigrants. What else?
Then, like a place where you can just go chill.
Place to chill for now these illegal immigrants.
And stay out of trouble.
Staying out of trouble, hopefully, from now these illegal immigrants.
Now we have to find other places.
What's going to be the consequence of this being changed and just to migrants? And where are those kids going to go right now?
Yeah, stuff that the Democrats didn't think about. See, they never think about consequences. As we just saw what's going on out there in other cities where the crime is going up, people are leaving, businesses are being shut down, folks are being mugged, drugs are running rampant, all because of their policies, because they didn't stop to think about the consequences. Consequences be damned. So yeah, let's go and put these people in here and we'll figure it out later. So, excuse me, ma'am, what's going to happen to the local people? What? Who? What? I don't care. I'm not going to worry about those consequences. But she does.
Probably to the streets. To the streets. Where most of them are already at.
How?
Like when we look for help, it seems like the state and the governor and them people, they push us away. They want to turn our children to animals.
Peasants, get out of here. We'll deal with you guys later. Right now, our priority is to keep these people in the country so that we cannot have to rely on you guys for voting. Yeah, these are your new replacements coming. So you shut your mouths and you just stay there and tell you what we'll tell you about racism the next time it's time to vote. Okay, so you will forget about all the illegals in your neighborhood. And this is sad to say, but they rely on keeping a lot of these inner city communities ignorant, undereducated, because they are easier to control. Think about this. Man is so intelligent, they can control a lesser life form, even if the lesser life form outnumber them or is more powerful than them. So, and I'm not saying these humans are lesser life forms. What I'm saying is if they recognize that by keeping a large group of people undereducated and ignorant, that opens their mind up for them to be manipulated, even if it's a large amount of them. We can control them because of their lack of knowledge. So when you go and you look at somebody that's controlling a whole bunch of buffalo, whole bunch of, horses or whatever, they could just run off and do whatever they want. They could run over these people if they wanted to. They could be like, yo, it's just one guy out here with a whip and a sheepdog or something. We could just stomp them both. But for some reason, they all line up because they just aren't intelligent and independent enough to realize, wait a minute, we got the upper hand. We don't have to be up here running because the sheepdog is chasing us. We can stomp the sheepdog. Look how small it is. The people who control them understands that, hey, they have a herd mentality. They can't think for themselves. They're not independent. Same thing when you look at a large group of inner city folks, as long as they're distracted by drugs, fighting, violence, all that stuff, confine them to that area, let them tear up their own stuff. Let them kill themselves if they, that's why they don't talk about all the black on black violence in those cities, because that doesn't affect anybody but those people. Keep them there, keep them in that stinking thinking, and then come in every blue moon, tell them they're victims, we're looking out for them, and it's the boogeyman, not us, some other white man out there, conservatives that are doing this to you. And then You could slide in a whole bunch of illegal immigrants right into their neighborhood and they won't even see who's behind it. They won't even question. They might get mad, but they don't know who they're getting mad at. They're just blaming the system. They have no idea. It's the same people who swore up and down, we love you guys and we're protecting you guys from the evil white Donald Trump and stuff like that. So keep voting for us. And then when all those people show up, man, why they doing this? The government doing. No, it's the Democrats. The Democrats are doing this, and you're too ignorant to see it, and they know that. So if they would educate themselves and see who really is their oppressor, maybe they'll vote these nasty, stinking people like Wu out of there instead of letting her run their city into the ground.
They want our children to be bad and F up. We want better for our community, but this right here is going to be a shit show, and it's going to be crazy.
Thank you, sis. Yeah, they like it. See, because you know why? Yeah, you keep black kids, Latino kids or whatever, still sprinkled in with some violence and stuff. Who knows? One of them might mess around and become a victim of police brutality. Now we got us a good talking point. See, yeah, we're not going to go ahead and blame the environment they grew up in. They created the mentality. Then all of our rhetoric that made them think that they had a chip on their shoulder and they were oppressed and they couldn't have to obey any authority, didn't emphasize conflict resolution, respect for authority. Then they get out there and they get themselves shot and become a hero for the Democrats, become a useful tool for them to bludgeon white folks and Republicans. So, hey, it's a win-win for us. Keep you guys ignorant, and when y'all start reverting to animalistic behavior that might make you get killed by a white cop, we'll use that mess too. See? So we don't want you guys becoming too highfalutin, do we? Unreal.
Thank you so much. This is going to be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Large groups of—
Oh, God. Look at this next element, y'all. Another element of a S-hole ran country. Boy. Allow open borders, putting their citizens in danger. Now, we are on the verge of S-holeism. Look who's coming across our border, y'all. Look at this.
Chinese nationals seen here being processed by Border Patrol agents. Only our cameras were there. The majority of them single adult.
How many?
Groups of—
for our community, but this right here is going to be a shit show, and it's going to be crazy.
Thank you so
much. This is going to be crazy.
Large groups of Chinese nationals seen here being processed by Border Patrol agents. Only our cameras were there. The majority of them single adult men hoping to cross the border in San Diego and leave the—
Why are we processing these people? Yeah, we're S-hole at this point. We are 100% S-hole. Why in the world are we even processing these people? They shouldn't be processed. They should be immediately rejected and turned around. There is no reason in the whole wide world that we should be processing Chinese nationals. Oh, God. They want us destroyed. They are like, please, turn us into an S-hole country. Set us up for espionage, terrorism, you name it. Look at these.
Chinese communist government behind. Still, the wave of Chinese migrants is adding to the stress already rippling throughout San Diego, which is considering a multi-million-dollar vote today to help handle the increased crush of migrants flooding the area ever since September.
Yeah, hey, Brian, we're seeing people from all over the world. Down here in Luke.
All over the world, guys. A country that doesn't protect its citizens is an S-hole ran country. So now we got all these Chinese nationals. Do you think these Chinese nationals are all here because they escaped China somehow? Do you understand how hard it is to do whatever you want to do in China? You know, including escape and fly off to the United States. No visa, no nothing. The chances of that, I mean, if Xi don't want you gone, you're not going. I just believe they watch over their people that much. You know, it's no different than trying to break into China. So getting out of China and breaking into China is probably just as hard. So somehow all these Chinese nationals manage to jump on an airplane, fly down to where, and come into our country. And we're to believe that none of these people are sent by Xi. They're all just escaping persecution, I guess.
Arizona, we're seeing people from Senegal. Where are you guys from?
Senegal.
Morocco. Okay,
Morocco.
so Morocco,
Is Morocco attached to South America, y'all? I don't think so.
Senegal, we've got people from Sudan. I've talked to them all. Now, here's the thing, Brian. The people from China, they're flying in directly to Ecuador because they don't need a special visa in order to do that.
Flying right into Ecuador because they don't need a visa, which means they probably aren't coming in with real legitimate paper. So Ecuador just lets them fly in there, no visa. And then they just make their way right on up to our border, and like dummies, we process them into our country.
And News Nation has been able to obtain numbers exclusively showing that just about 10,000 Chinese nationals have crossed into the United States over the last 2 months.
10,000? 10,000, y'all, in the last month. Do you understand the invasion? I can't even believe they let this happen. Mucus, man, throw his tail under somebody's jail. How in the world could be... Don't drink that. Gizmo likes Red Bull. Sorry about that, buddy. I tempted you. Putting that can of Red Bull on the ground. Yeah. Come here. I need a hug for a second. Wait. Oh. Hold me, Gizmo. Don't. He calms me down. Shh. Easy, big guy. Easy, big guy. The sun is going down. Yeah. He's the one that calms me. Shh. Yeah. Okay, and I'm back. So now, you got to be kidding me, man. You got to be kidding me. 10,000 in the last month. What are they all here for? This is ridiculous, man. They want us destroyed. They want us to become an SO-ran country. What kind of choice is this, man?
That's compared to 24,000 for the entire last year. So a sizable jump there.
So we go 24,000, which is a ridiculous amount last year for Chinese nationals. People who are coming from a country that has been spying on us, who have been aggressive towards us, who wants to destroy our economy. 24,000 is a lot in 1 year. But now just in the last month, we had 10,000 of them. Because Trump is about to get back into office. We now have to make sure we send as many Chinese spies to America as possible. They're coming in big waves right into our country and getting processed.
And we are seeing this influx in migrants all over the southern border.
Meanwhile, just into Fox News now, NYPD making 2 more arrests, illegal immigrants, and that attack on officers. Those suspects also allegedly stole an officer's cell phone. Well, that'll help them track you down. So a 5th illegal immigrant accused of attacking 2 New York City police officers over the weekend showed no remorse or regret. He was seen, as you can see, giving his 2 middle fingers to the cameras moments after being released.
These young punks need their butts beat. Butts beat. So we got Chinese nationals coming in. We got these illegal immigrants, crime, prostitution, everything. See, Democrats don't think. They don't think about cause and effect. What could happen while we're trying to bring in all of these illegal South American immigrants for votes? What could possibly happen when other countries start seeing this is also a pathway for us to come? You know, we never thought about that. We never thought it through. The Chinese people could exploit this. The Afghanistanians could exploit that wide open border. We never thought about that. We never thought about maybe people from Iran, Libya, you name it, countries that don't like us. We never even thought that they might exploit that. We were just focused on bringing in illegal immigrants. Yeah, what could possibly go wrong when we pack all of these cities with a bunch of war-age young men, confine them to a certain area, got a city that is weak on crime, let folks out on bail, and people packed in with no resources, no money, no place to stay? What could possibly go wrong? I'm sure they're all going to be law-abiding citizens, perfect little angels. And now what happens? You're creating a criminal element in our cities, turning them into SO-ran cities, and all because you don't even want to punish these people who obviously are criminals.
Without bail. Florida Senator Marco Rubio wrote, "Message to America from one of the illegal immigrants. who assaulted NYPD officers, walked free with no bail, and heads back to a shelter funded by taxpayers. So far, police have shared 4 mugshots of the now 7 people arrested in connection with the brutal beatings in Times Square.
More controversy today for the Manhattan District Attorney's Office after several suspects accused of attacking a police officer in Times Square were released without bail.
Y'all hear that? They're making me go crazy. Driving me crazy. I remember when we lost our minds. There was something so crazy about that place. Do you understand how crazy this is? Yeah, they want Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome scenario. So now let me get this straight. Folks that shouldn't be in the country get arrested for beating up a police officer. Then they really show their humility by flipping the bird. And what does Fat Albert do? Let him back out.
CBS 2's Christina Fenn reports Governor Hochul is also criticizing the decision.
As police continue searching for several suspects, they say attacked NYPD officers as they were trying to disperse a crowd near a migrant shelter in Times Square Saturday. Governor Kathy Hochul sounded off, upset to learn those charged so far were released without bail.
It's wrong on all accounts. I'm looking to judges and prosecutors to do the right thing.
In this video released by the NYPD, 2 cops are seen struggling with a man in yellow when a barrage of people take turns kicking and punching the lieutenant and officer in the head and body.
Now, you know, that right there was really justification for deadly force. But can you imagine if these cops would have just said, you know what, instead of fighting with all these kids, let me just pull it out and go, foop, 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 foop. Now, all of a sudden, those cops would be looking at the death penalty. All of a sudden, what? You killed our precious illegal immigrants? You should have shot them all in the legs while they were stomping you in the head. Yeah, you know what? You should have just went ahead and let them beat and pound and kick you. That's probably why they didn't pull their guns. Because they're thinking to themselves, man, I'd rather take a beating by illegal immigrants than to have the news flip this on me and make me into a villain. Because they don't support police.
5 of the suspects have already been arraigned and face charges of second-degree assault and obstructing governmental administration. As to why the DA did not request bail for those men, a spokesperson said, violence against police officers is never acceptable. It is paramount that we conclusively identify each defendant and specify each participant's role in the incident.
They're trying to figure out exactly who did what. And so they're being smart about making sure that they look at all the evidence.
Wednesday.
No, they're not being smart. They're not being smart. They're being dumb. So let me get this straight. It's blurry because I didn't want to show, during that clip, they didn't want to show the actual violence. But I actually got a clip coming up, y'all, where you see what they did to the police. Now, here's the crazy part about this, though, y'all. Instead of keeping them all locked up so you can sort it out, as she's talking about, they want to see what really happened. The way you do that is just let them all go. Yeah, while we look at the video footage, let them all go. Now, what happens when you do find out all of them were involved? Now you got to go track them down again, right? People that shouldn't have been in the country in the first place, you let them go right back out into the country after they attack police officers. So now if I'm these kids, I'm hightailing it.
Night, police arrested 2 more suspects, bringing the total number to 7. 5 are still outstanding. The NYPD says many of the defendants were migrants staying at city shelters, ranging in age from 19 to 24 years old.
War-age men? That's what you're saying? Because I thought everybody who was coming were gentle woodland creatures, mostly women and children.
Governor Hochul was asked if she felt those responsible for the attack should be deported.
I think that's absolutely something that should be looked at. If someone commits a crime against a police officer in the state of New York, and they're not, they're not here legally. They're not here
legally. What? So wait, she just admitted they're not here legally. Now we just heard, remember guys, up there in Boston, their governor said that I want everybody to know these people are here legally. No, they're not. They try to conflate those two all the time. You see people up in Congress always talking about, the Republicans hate immigrants. No, we don't. Illegally here versus legally here is 2 different things. And she must have had a Freudian slip right here.
Definitely worth checking into.
New developments now in that violent
Now you're
attack
about
on
to see
two
the
NYPD
video
officers in
footage.
Times Square last weekend.
Here we go.
Today, Governor Hochul said their attackers will face additional charges.
David, Natalie, the investigation, the manhunt ongoing as questions continue to swirl about why some of the alleged attackers were set free from court with no bail.
Because of liberal policies. There you go. Because they don't want to bring attention to the precious illegal immigrants. They don't want to have to deport these people. Yeah, instead of paying to keep them in jail using taxpayers' dollars, see, we can't have that. It overwhelms the prison system. So just let them back out. Let them back out. And then we'll spend taxpayers' dollars on it. Look at Fat Albert.
Reporters, Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg talking about why his office did not seek bail for several of the migrants accused of attacking two NYPD officers in Times Square.
We speak in court.
Some of the
But I'm sure, guys, that these people are going to get better. So you tell me this. They come into the country illegally. That's the first law that they broke. They get here, ain't even been here that long. And they start off with violence. They're disrespecting police. Do you think they're going to get better? You think these young men are going to grow up and change their ways and fall in love with our country and become respectable citizens and stuff like that? No, they're damaged goods. Damaged goods already that's now in our country. Either way, we're going to have to spend money. Either lock them up or spend money and have to send them back. And I guarantee you it's millions more just like these young men.
Those charged have prior arrests, and some police officials say four involved in the attack have since left New York on a bus for California.
4 of them. How did they even get the money to get on the bus? See, taking advantage of our weak system already, going out to California for refuge. Hopefully a judge sit back and let them out the door. See, listen to how they're keeping record of illegal immigrants' crimes, y'all. So now, we got 4 that's on the run now. They should have been locked up, but now they're on the run.
Some of those charged are due back in court March 4th. Many say bail could have and should have been set. The governor pointing out at least one suspect did have bail set and is now being held on Rikers.
An assault on a police officer means that you should be sitting in jail, like there's an individual right now sitting in Rikers, pending your trial date.
Police do not track crime committed by the undocumented.
Well, I wonder why. Y'all hear this? This is why we're becoming an S-hole ran country. Police do not document and track crime committed by illegal immigrants because they have illegal immigrant privilege. Y'all didn't know that? There's a such thing called illegal immigrant privilege. So if they don't track and document the crime committed by illegal immigrants, then most likely they're letting them go. They don't track that mess because they know if they put that out there for people to see, it would shed light on how bad this mess is. So for all we know, there could be like 50,000 murders, 750,000 robberies, sexual assaults. It could be all kind of stuff, and American citizens are being set up because we don't even know. Up there in Chicago, whenever a legal immigrant was doing anything, they would just say, a Chicago man. A Chicago man did this. That's not a Chicago man. That's an illegal immigrant. That's what that is. And our dirty, stinking politicians are trying to hide this from us because they don't want to really reveal how stupid of a decision this was and how much they put our citizens in danger by doing this. They want to turn us into an SORAN country.
But the attack on police officers comes as a growing number of arrests can be linked
Look how much
to
they respect our
residents of
country.
migrant shelters. Arrest records show residents living at 30 of the city's 200 migrant shelters have been arrested more than 1,200 times.
Look at that. Look at all of this crime from these precious, gentle woodland creatures. We got petty larceny, 426 assaults, 291, grand larceny, 176, endangerment of a child, 55, robbery, 51. There you go, all up there in, I guess, the Big Crapple.
In the last year, City records show the top crimes include petty larceny, assault, grand larceny, endangering the welfare of a child, and robbery.
It's going to be hard to really tell the depth of this problem unless we can get some better statistics out of it.
Yeah. See? But they don't want that. Because, see, they want the public thinking that these people are here for just a better life and they're fleeing danger. And they all are here to just contribute to our society. And they're gentle, woodland creatures. And they're mostly just young men. Women and children. That's why. So we can't keep track of it. That will reveal just how big of a problem this is.
NBC New York consultant Terry Monahan is the NYPD's former chief of department. He says most migrants are here seeking better lives, but crime, a growing problem.
A lot of times it shows as a first arrest for that individual because it's the first time they're here. And they're getting sent right back out on the streets to do it again.
The NYPD.
Right back out on the street to do it again. Enjoy yourself. Because we don't want our system overwhelmed with illegal immigrants in the jail. We'd rather have y'all out in the streets committing crimes.
One group of migrants that was caught using scooters to commit 59 different cell phone robberies. As for the more than 13 people allegedly involved in the attack on those 2 officers, the search for at least 6 others is ongoing.
Man, I'm going to tell you right now. I might be one of them cops, man, to be in the slammer right now. Because you don't know when that was going to stop. You didn't know what their intentions were. They could have stomped you to death. I mean, I might have to say, I might have just, maybe even a warning, something. Get up off me. That would be thick. Get up off me. Any Americans that would have attacked a police officer like that, all of those guys would have probably been shot. But I guarantee you, those cops are on high alert. They're very hypersensitive. Wait a minute. Who are we dealing with here? We're dealing with New York's precious illegal immigrants. We'd rather almost risk getting killed than to go ahead and put one and set an example that you can't break into our country and then attack the police.
A change when it comes to immigration in general from President Biden on down. Do you hear her talk about that? It is
a change. What are you talking about, CNN? Stop lying. A change from the whole stance on illegal immigrants, starting from President Biden on down. He ain't changed nothing. Don't try to act like all of a sudden now it's he's alert of it and well, let's go ahead and we're gonna have to lock this border down. No, he ain't changed nothing. But listen what this guy does to shut these 2 up.
It is also directly related to the fact that these were police officers. Does that have any impact? Does that change anything?
Well, it's so complicated because, you're a New Yorker. You move through this city every day as I do. We see these people. We touch these people. They're out looking for work. They're delivering our food. They're at the gas stations and the car wash. These are people who came in waves, 170,000 probably to New York City. But within that group, this hardworking, throngs of people in search of hope and a better life, there is this 1%er, criminal element that looks at.
Well, we wouldn't know if it's 1%. We wouldn't know that because they don't keep track of the stats. See, because I got video footage of them saying that they done turned one whole area into a red light district. Prostitution. What do you think these people are going to do for a living when you done got like 175,000 of them all thrusted into New York? You think they all got jobs? You think they're all waiting on people and sweeping and doing pool work and the stuff that y'all bring them here to do? You think that's what they're doing? If that's the case, they all would be packed into these shelters and stuff like that. But watch what he says at the end. This shoves a sock down these 2's throat.
A different opportunity here. These individuals, I went over their rap sheets yesterday. Multiple charges: grand larceny, robbery, attempted robbery, grand larceny, grand larceny. This particular crew operated on mopeds and scooters. They were doing organized retail theft. They were doing snatches on the street, iPhones, iPads, clothing, so on and so forth. One of them that they are still seeking has 10 charges on one day because he's part of a pattern that's been going on. And
10 charges on one day? How'd they even get that far? If they wouldn't have attacked the police officer, they would still be in business. See, that's the sad part about that. Yeah, what got them in trouble is they decided to attack a police officer. Anything short of that, they would have still been riding around on their moped, stealing everything.
I'm looking at the dates that their arrest started, which is probably close to when they got here.
Oh, so when they got here, they started getting arrested immediately. Now, that should be your number one indicator. You've been here 2 days and already in trouble, you got to go. If When I was a principal, if I let a kid into a school, all right, you're new. 2 days later, you done got into a fight. Yeah, you know what? You done set the tone. You're a bad apple. You got to go. You ain't even got settled in yet, and you're already disrespecting me, disrespecting the whole school building. So these people come in, and of course, they get in trouble, and just let them go ahead. I'm sure they'll go ahead and self-regulate.
I've only been here a couple of months. So what the detectives are telling me is they have crews here that operate in New York, do all their stealing, then go to Florida to spend the money, and then come back. And I'm like, well, why don't they just stay and steal in Florida? And they said, because there you go to jail.
Oh.
Yeah, that one shocked them. Well, look at that. Now we see that they're taking advantage of S-hole ran Democrat cities. They even recognize there's no consequences in New York and in Seattle and out in California. We do the crime here, and then we act like we got some sense when we go to a conservative state. We just going, yes, sir, let's spend the money. There we go. All right, take care. Adios. Go right back up to New York. Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. Act a fool in New York because they know, hey, it's a free fall. Those people on that scene set was like, oh. But it just goes to show the difference in the way Republicans and conservatives govern versus Democrats. They're like, people are like kids. They see which parent is weak, which one I can get away with everything with. Oh, mama up there in New York lets me steal, rob, attack authority, disrespect cops, all of that. Let's go up there and act a fool. But when we get to dads, we better straighten up and act right. Unreal. And this is how it is the final part of them turning the U.S. into an S-hole ran country. Look at this, guys. This is before it all really got bad here. This is Black Gay Drop defending. This is how we got here, y'all. Listen to Black Gay Drop defending what's going on, and them unlocking and unleashing all these illegal immigrants into the country, while still telling us that no, we're trying to stop it, and there's really not a problem. This reporter did a good job at holding her, trying to hold her to some honesty. But Black Gay Drop, she don't know how to handle that, so she's going to go ahead and dig into her mop and come out with some lies. Here we go.
So's Democratic mayor has declared a state of emergency, and he said that he would only do that when he felt he could no longer keep his community or the asylum seekers safe. He's saying that time is now ahead of Title 42 expiring.
Ahead of Title 42 expiring. Remember, Title 42 made these precious illegal immigrants remain in Mexico, right? But the Biden administration, for some reason, didn't like it. They didn't like it. Just like they, for some reason, don't like barbed wire down there. They don't like the wires down there. So they do everything to remove anything that might slow down their precious flow of illegal immigrants. So this was before Title 42, when everybody was telling the Biden administration, if you get rid of Title 42, you're going to open up a flood of illegal immigrants. It's going to skyrocket. So why would you do that? Why would you remove things that are slowing it down, right?
What is the White House response to that?
So look, we have, from day one, President Biden has taken steps to reduce disorderly migration while expanding legal pathways for... How?
For day one, he's to reduce the flow of immigration by explaining pathways. It shouldn't be a pathway.
Orderly migration. We are in constant communication with the mayor of El Paso.
What is orderly migration? What kind of crap is this? See, this is what kills me. If you listen to their words, you got to go, what are crazy? What is orderly migration? I didn't know people had the right to migrate to our country unabated. So she ain't even using, asylum seekers. It's just migrants now. Hey, I don't like the place that I live. I'm coming to America. And jumping past every single other person who wants to be a migrant too, but they want to come the right way. Now we got to figure out how to do orderly migration.
And look, I've talked about the Venezuelan enforcement initiative that's helped drop the migration, which is, as you know, an initiative, a drastic 90% drop, and we're going to continue.
Yeah, by allowing them to come, by saying, all right, this way we could eliminate it looking like illegal immigration by saying we'll allow X amount of y'all to come. Yeah. So now that we're letting X amount of y'all to come, now we can say, look, the illegal immigrants, violations have decreased. Well, all y'all did is legalized it and said you don't have to fall into the category of an illegal immigrant right now. We're letting a whole bunch of y'all come, which makes it look like it's just a small little group of people who are still coming. So none of them see one, Kev? All right, let's see.
Continue to do that work. Look, we're surging resources to the border. We're going to continue to do the work that is needed. We saw from the graphs what that looked like, what the resources were. We're going to ask for the additional funding.
For what?
The $3.5 billion additional funding requests from Congress, and we want to make sure that we're really truly addressing this challenge. Again, the 23,000 agents that we're currently seeing.
She's struggling. Wait. Like, okay, come on, Black Gay. Come on, Black Gay. You don't want to go ahead out there and continue to sound stupid, trying to make this nonsense make sense, because that's what she's doing. There's no logical reason why you would want to get rid of Title 42 unless you wanted to make sure all these illegal immigrants are coming. So now she's trying to justify it, and listen to the stupidity.
Being at the border, that is because of the work that this president has done.
What work?
And these are, this is a historic number of agents that we see at the border.
Doing what? See, these are questions. See, we all know this is what's good about being educated and knowing when these people say this, they're lying or they're not giving you the full story. See, if we were just ignorant, we'd say, well, look at that. They got more agents. That without saying, well, what are these agents doing? What are their assignments? What do y'all have them doing? Because obviously, whatever it is, it's not working. They're increasing in numbers. So I don't care if you got 1 million agents down there. So why then isn't it stopping? Well, because those agents are not there to stop them. They're there to process them. See, isn't it good to have knowledge? Because that makes you one step ahead of that mop on top of her head.
At the border, again, we're going to continue to ask for additional funding from Congress to assist us in dealing with this challenge at this time.
The resources, though, that you've laid out at the top, specifically in El Paso, there's video that was just released by one Republican member of Congress to show that it's really not making a difference. There's one border patrol facility on Friday. He says there are 4,600 migrants in that facility. Its capacity is 1,040.
Oh, come on, Black Gay. She got you up against the wall, man. So she said, thanks for that little whacked explanation. However, the resources you're talking about is not working. Yeah, you say, oh, well, we got all these people. Thanks for the president. We got all of these extra the Border Patrol agents down there. Well, then if that's the case, why are the facilities overpacked still? Facility could hold 1,000 and you're sitting there looking at like 4,000 or something in there, packed in like Haitians. And you're sitting back trying to tell us it's working and because due to the president. So now she got to wiggle around that fact.
And we're still, Title 42 is still in place they're at 4 times their capacity rate.
And that's with Title 42 when it was still in place. And they were packed to capacity. Now understand, that's when Title 42 is in place. What's going to happen when Title 42 is removed? All of the real agents down there on that border were saying, don't do it. Don't do it, man. We're going to have an influx like never before. But you think the Biden administration listened to them? You think they took their opinion and their advice? Nope.
Now, so is the view that this is working, that those resources are working, that you guys have said are from the work of this president, is that sufficient? Is it working?
I mean, we're asking for $3.5 billion in additional funding to help us, right, with the challenges that we're seeing. So if congressional Republicans are serious about this.
Nope. Don't try to pivot, Black Gay. She asked you, is it working? You just boasted about how many agents she got down there. Well, she dropped a fact on you. Well, if that's the case, we should see a reduction, right? We got Title 42 still in place, and they're already overwhelmed, and y'all want to remove Title 42. Is it working? Well, we just asked for $3 billion, and if Republicans never answered, oh, it's working or not, she didn't answer that. See, I like picking their butts apart because, see, these are the people that created everything we saw thus far in this video. See, these are the people responsible for that.
serious about dealing with what the challenges that we're currently seeing, then they would assist in helping, making sure the men
and helping making sure more people come in as quickly as possible and get processed. That's not help. That's counterproductive. So don't blame it on Republicans.
and the women of the DHS has the resources that they need. In the meantime, the Department of Homeland Security is surging resources to the border and have additional robust planning efforts underway.
What does that mean? In the meantime, our partner of our Homeland Security is surging resources to the border and having resource in the way. None of that's giving me a plan, a strategy, nothing.
And so, again, we're asking for additional funding. We are surging resources.
Surging
but if
resources.
they truly want to assist, instead of doing political ploys like they...
Instead of doing political ploys. So let's see, throw more money at it. There you go. And then blame it on Republicans. And say, let's get more resources, but I won't explain to you what those resources are and what they're supposed to do. We won't do that.
They have been for the past several months.
Boy. Here we go.
There we go.
They will, adhere to our funding request that we put forward.
A little bit to Ed's question, though. You know, this
She won't get off her back. She won't get off her back. She's on there like... So Black Gay is like, get out of my wig. Get out of my wig. She's on that wig, man. Like a spider monkey.
push from the podium to get Republicans to send more resources to the border. A lot of them say that, they hesitate to throw more money at a problem. The Homeland Security Secretary saying that the border is secure.
Yeah, that's back when Mucus was on tour. That border is secure. The brave men and women at the Border Patrol is doing everything, and we are taking it to the cartels and that blah, 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 and lie. That's when he was out there speaking reckless, man, telling everybody that the border was secure.
And some people who'd have to vote on that bill also don't have a lot of details on what's in it and where that money goes. But all that aside, if you're saying that Republicans aren't doing the work to get this done, and then you have someone like Joe Manchin saying, well, the president has the ability to ask for an extension, he should be asking for an extension because we're at this point where you've got a deadline and a crisis. Is that within the president's authority to do that?
Uh-oh. See, now she done put Black Gay back up against that wall. She is fighting off the wall right now. She can't get a good extension. She's just trying to get her off of her. So she got her up and over. She said, okay, that sounds good and all that raggedy excuse. However, you got Joe Manchin, who's one of y'all's, who said, look, man, if the president wanted to, he can ask for an extension on Title 42. But instead, they are suing to remove Title 42. So if he was really about trying to slow it down, give our Border Patrol every opportunity to be successful, he would say, excuse me, let's extend Title 42. But instead, he wants to turn our country into an S-hole country. So now, just like that barbed wire, they wanted to sue to get that removed. Same thing. Now you got to ask yourself, what's their motive to get rid of Title 42 when it slowed it down a little bit? Didn't stop it, but definitely slowed it down.
Look, we remained under a court order to lift.
A court order.
That is a court order. That is a court order.
Watch this.
That is telling us to lift Title 42.
Now, this is how dumb Black Gay is. So she's now trying to blame it on the court, y'all. Look, it's the law. We're under a court order. We have to now remove it. But we'll find out that the same people who fought and sued to remove it now is trying to tell us that now we got to obey the law that we fought so hard to remove. Here we go.
And we're going to comply because we follow the rule of law.
That is sought to lift.
After breaking the rules.
It is a court order.
But that started by you guys.
A court order started by you guys. So now while Black Gay was in the corner trying to fight back, she took a shot and just collapsed. She just took a shot right there and collapsed. She's sitting down up against the ropes in the corner getting an 8 count. So hopefully she could get back up to finish lying. Come on, Black Gay. Come on, let me fix my wig. Let me straighten it. There we go. All right, I can finish the round. I'm good. How many fingers? I don't know. What's the finger? I don't know. What's the woman? I don't know. Who knows? All right, put me back in, coach.
So in the funding request, the 3.5 billion, I've already listed them out. Happy to do them again. You scale up. We want to scale up air and ground transportation capabilities to move migrants.
Oh, air and ground transportation to move migrants where?
To processing to less crowded border patrol.
You see? SO. These are the people who are running our country straight into the ground. That is why we're looking like a SO ran country right now. And it is nothing more than conservative states that are holding it down. We got conservative states of refuge that makes us see some resemblance of our country. So these people are saying, we want more resources to fly them around, move them around, transport them.
Control sectors and quickly remove them if they don't have a legal basis to remain.
Which we find 80% of them, 80% guys, are being released into our country.
Set up an additional CBP holding facilities and
more holding facilities
and speed up the processing time. So
speed up the processing times.
Individuals can have their asylum claims heard faster.
All 12 million or so here for asylum. We want to speed that up so they can hear their claims. So all 12 million or so, which they're saying 10 million, but I'm thinking more so around 12 million, not including the illegal immigrants that got away. All of them, for some reason, from every other country across the globe, are all here for asylum. Yeah, I want to see the judge just sit there and listen to all these excuses. All right, now where are you from? Botswana. Botswana, huh? What's going on in Botswana that made you come here to America for asylum? There's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. How did you get here? I jumped on a plane. So you got on a plane fleeing Botswana for what again? Stuff. Well, could you have gone to any other country in Africa fleeing stuff? Yeah, I could have. But America got better stuff. So I figured I want to come and use your stuff. Well, you know that's not an asylum claim right there. Well, they told me I could say that. All right, there we go. You're in. Next, where you from? China. All of these people, millions of them, asylum claims. Come on, man. This is, I feel like I'm watching like a nightmare. I'm going, this is unreal that we've allowed this to happen.
Hire more than 300 additional agents to join our force of 23,000 agents working to secure the border. 23,000, that is historic. We've not seen that before. And again, that is
because we got too many people coming. But you're not hiring these additional people to stop them from coming. You're hiring this additional people to help them get in.
Is because of the work that this president has done.
Yeah, it is because of the work that this president's done. The horrible work. That's why we need all of these extra Border Patrol agents. And we should be using them to say, halt, turn around, go back. Should be using them to arrest all of these coyotes bringing people and drugs across our border. But instead, they're all down there processing people.
Historic fundings to the Department of Homeland Security. Secure additional technologies and equipment like automated processing system.
Automated processing system. Everything's about processing. You see, SO ran country, man. They're more interested in processing than preventing these people from coming. I despise these people. I despise these people, man. Look what they have done. Everything she's saying is saying, we want these people here. Let's make it easier, more proficient. Let's streamline it. Let's remove any obstacle. Get rid of Title 42. Get rid of these rubber balls that's sitting out there in the river. Get rid of the slinkies that are stopping them. Tear down the rest of the wall. Sell off the pieces. Dang on it. Get rid of the scarecrow that can't put out there. And the alligators and the predators and all of that mess I talked about on my show last night. We don't want nothing that prevent these people from coming.
Enforcement radios, upgraded surveillance and inspection technologies, and more. Increased support for border cities and towns like El Paso. So the $3.5 billion, there is a plan for it. There is a way forward in getting the resources that the men and women of the Department of Homeland Security need.
No. Because every time they come up there and they tell y'all what they need, y'all don't give it to them. All of them said, finish the wall. All of them said, keep them in Mexico. Keep Title 42 in place. All of them are saying that. Then you get up here, throw this garbage out, and blame it on them to give the men and women what they need. Isn't it funny, the big disconnect between the people on the front line and the people up in Washington? And then they always blame it on those people. They need support. They need access. They need access to do their jobs. That's why we want the fences removed and all of this stuff. They didn't ask for that. Y'all did.
To do the work at the border. But what we have been hearing from Republicans and seeing from Republicans in Congress is political ploys. They're not assisting. They're not offering any assistance.
Political ploys, because just like I am able to see your bullcrap, black gay, so can they. So can they. I know all the things you're claiming is happening, the opposite is happening. I know that even though you say we're fixing the problem's getting worse. You're breaking it. You're enabling these people. I know that your lacked efforts to stop this and slow it down are really efforts to increase it and streamline it, make it easier. But yet, it's the Republicans that are politicizing this. No, they're just smart enough to know that you guys are encouraging this. I mean, for Pete's sakes, the president said, "Surge the border."
Many of them are not. And so we are asking right now, if they are serious about this, they are serious about dealing with the challenges, then they would adhere to our funding requests. And I want to be really careful. Again, look, Title 42 is going to be lifted. Yes, it will. But we are going to move to Title 8. The border is not open. And so I want to be very clear about that, because we were doing the smuggler's job if we spread misinformation.
Wow. Oh my God. That right there was the line of the night. That was how many minutes? We got about 35 seconds left. This woman just said that if we want to be clear, we're doing a smuggler's job if we spread dis and misinformation. So let me see. Y'all sued to get Title 42 removed, which would make it easier. You put all of these processes and ways to come here in place, knowing that it is the actual smugglers and drug dealers and cartels that are bringing these people, feeding these people to you guys. They're responsible for that. And here you are talking about we're doing the job of the cartel. You're doing the job of the cartel by opening up the door for all of them to be bringing people to our border, and by using our resources to process all of these people, which also allows the cartel to bring all of their fentanyl across while the Border Patrol agents are down there processing people. That's what you're doing. And don't forget, human trafficking these people, all of that stuff. All of the money the cartel is making is because of everything we saw during my whole presentation tonight. The cartel is responsible for bringing the people. The Biden administration is responsible for allowing the people to come. All the crime increasing in these SO-ran cities are because of Democrat policies, whether it is American citizens breaking the law or illegal immigrants breaking the law that shouldn't have been here. It's all cause and effect by Democrat policies. These people are turning our country into an SO country. And I'm talking in record-breaking time. And if something doesn't stop them, this SO-ism will spread.
Kareem, with regards to Manchin, just to put a fine point on it, because he did go on to say that I think the administration is doing that or will do that with regards to an extension. There are no plans to ask for any sort of an extension.
No, they don't want an extension.
What I can tell you is we are required by court order to lift.
There you go. Go back to that court order that you guys wanted removed. She's like, let me get this straight. You're saying so there is no plan to actually ask for an extension on Title 42? Well, what I can tell you is that we're under a court order that we requested to go ahead and remove it.
Title 42, that's December 21st, and we're going to comply with that order. Any other additional questions about any legal actions, I would refer you to Department of Justice.
And you said that the border is not open. You said that a couple times. Will the president deliver that message in person next month in Mexico at the North American Leaders Summit?
Again, I don't even have a trip to announce at this time today. All I can tell you is that we are in plans and conversations, so don't even have anything to confirm to speak to a hypothetical. That is a court order that is telling us to lift Title 42, and we're going to comply because we follow the rule of law.
That is not to lift.
That is, but it is.
Because we're going to comply because we follow the rule of law. that led us to all of these people coming into our country because we broke and violated our immigration laws. Use all these stupid not court orders, but executive orders or whatever to just open it up for everybody, changing the asylum requirements, everything we've done. We failed our duties to protect the citizens of the United States. And now all of a sudden you're saying, because we follow the law. So, I mean, we have to abide by Title 42 being removed and stuff, because now all of a sudden it's the law. We're following the law that we fought so hard to remove. All we had to do is say, hey, court, don't worry about it. Please renew it. But they didn't want that. They fought to get it removed. And now she's saying, now we have to follow it.
Is a court order. But that
Started by you guys.
It was.
Wow. One last slap to the face on the way out to show just how corrupt these Democrats are. It's a court order. Started by you guys. So y'all go ahead and create a problem and then say, now look at this. We have to do it. I mean, you think we wanted to bring all these people in here? Yeah, even though we fought to remove the very thing that was slowing it down. We fought to remove it, and now that it's removed, well, we gotta abide by it. It's a court order that you guys fought for. Interesting. So that's who is responsible for all of these people who are coming into our country. All of this chaos, Democrats across the board have created. They've sponsored it, cause and effect. This right there, that exchange took place about a year or so ago. And now look at us. Yeah, they done got rid of Title 42, got rid of all the things that could slow these people down. Now they're all up in New York acting a fool, all up in Washington, everywhere. They're all across the United States. And hopefully we're keeping it to a minimum when it comes down to our conservative states. Because, see, we don't want this crime element coming, because that's what's going to happen. I mean, could you imagine New York right about now? How are they going to get all these people out of there? Once these people nestle in and start learning the system, and they can find them or put them in some type of area, that's going to get crazy. And same with all the rest of these so-called sanctuary cities. So, guys, our country's in trouble. But hey, there's still hope. We're a remnant. We're more than a remnant. And right now, we're not even a remnant. We're really the majority. And they're trying to make us a remnant. That's what they're trying to do. And we're holding it down. We're standing in the way of complete chaos. And we're standing in the way of us completely becoming an S-hole country, to where other people are looking at America going, boy, America used to be the beautiful. I don't want other countries looking at us like we look at California, where we're saying, man, California used to be beautiful. San Francisco used to be great. Man, New York used to be the bomb. Man, I used to love going up to Washington. Man, I used to love going out to Seattle. I don't want other countries saying, man, I used to love going to America, but now it's an S-hole country. My friend went out to France a couple years back and was like, man, France is not what it used to be. They got guards walking around now because they're worried about terrorism. I went to France to see all the sights and I'm worried. I'm like, man, everybody's armed with rifles and stuff. See, so we don't want that to happen. And one of the big determining factors is going to be what happens in November. So, guys, the most important election of any of our lifetimes at this point. So we shall see. So thanks for watching it. I know I went 7 minutes over. I knew I was going to end up on the whole 2 hours tonight, but it was Friday. It was Friday, man. Might as well have a good time exposing these people and all of their garbage. Cause and effect, man. Dang, I don't want to live in no shite. Keep these people out. Shut the door. Keep out the shite. So, please hit that like button. Share my videos. I just saw Don place the phone number in there to call. Or the text rather, 330-974-4607. You text MAGA to that. You can stay into the loop. And don't forget, sign up to my alternative channel. Stop and think about it so we can crack 1,000. Please do that for me. And finally, if you want to support the channel through my fundraiser, the link's right below this video to do that. And also you can check out the store for my merch. And other than that, I think we're good. Make sure you still subscribe. Make sure your notifications are set to all. And then also follow me on Rumble. And don't forget to check back with the page for some standalone videos that I've uploaded. All right. I'm sure y'all have not gotten the notification because the views are low on them. It's garbage, man. See, but it's all good though. One day, y'all, we'll be back to our glory as America, the bold, the strong, the beautiful, instead of this S.O.Ran country by Democrats. It's our city, man. It's our state. Tear up the place, yeah. See y'all next time in Kevin's Corner. Take care.